the first John Cena hot take comes from at Alexis_track, who says that John Cena's heel run was amazing. This is a huge hot take out of the gates, guys, because let's be honest about it, I think almost universally there's just hate for this, Shard, isn't there? So what's your thoughts on this take?
I don't think it's as bad as people had it out to be. I think Cena's retirement tour, from the heel turn to everything going on, has been the highlight for WWE programming this entire year. I'm going to be politically correct. I'm going to say it wasn't amazing, but I won't say it was horrible.
Well, you know what, Shard? I'm going to say it was horrible. Because this heel run absolutely stunk up the shop, right? The heel turn itself was absolutely genius, an all-time moment in professional wrestling, but everything after that was so not thought out. John Cena, and I feel for John Cena, to be honest with you as well, because he was in a situation where, you know, clearly they didn't know what the next step was going to be every time, so he could only do so much. But his performances were not convincing at all.
I loved the idea. Like, I was enjoying the heel run for a little bit, and then it just kind of crumbled. It just went away, like, gone. That's why I'm frustrated about it.
The big point, which I think he should have touched upon, and the fact that he didn't touch upon it, and this would have made the heel turn make way more sense if they did, was he should have said, before I turned heel, I hadn't won a match. I hadn't won a singles match in what was, I think, 8 years? Like, he couldn't
About
do
8
it.
years.
He could not win when he was being a good guy. And he had one more year. He came back. He thought it was all going to go well. He got eliminated from the Royal Rumble. And he was like, shoot, what do I do now? And I think that should have been like the big justification for the heel turn of. He was worried that he couldn't, you know, make that final year live up to what he wanted it to be. And he felt that he'd have to break the rules to do it. But I just don't think that's the story also they told during the turn, but I wish it was. I really do.
Like, they could have went ahead and put it as part of the promo too. Like, as soon as they went ahead and did like the video packaging for it, they could have went ahead and put more of those times in there, more of those times of him failing, all of those times of him being booed, like more of it. Let it fester. Fester? That's the word. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Right.
Yeah,
but I think
they could have went ahead and went further with it
though as well. Yeah, like that's an interesting point in terms of maybe this wasn't just the writing and it wasn't just Cena, but maybe this was the production too. Because maybe if they gave us promo packages where they're not necessarily, well, we don't have John Cena telling us that he's turned heel because he's lost, because obviously you can't do that. But if they like try to insinuate that, if Michael Cole was trying to say he had to turn heel because he couldn't win as a babyface, that's why he sold out and all of this. If they built that narrative up, this could have been convincing. I want to read out this comment by Donnie because it's an idea. It's an interesting idea. And it's that if they wanted to be really edgy, John would have said that this was who he was all along, but the former chairman paid him a lot to act like a Boy Scout. To your point, Donnie, like if they did want to be that edgy, they shouldn't do this. But from a purely kayfabe perspective, you could have had him turn heel and say the reason he's turned heel is because the fans turned on somebody who gave him his entire career in Vince. And they kicked him out of the company. Dreadful idea, but from a kayfabe point of view, it would have worked.
John probably don't want that black cloud over his head for sure.
The next question is from @KingMartin3, who says John Cena should have won the 2005 Royal Rumble match instead of Batista.
That Rumble was special for me, man. Batista definitely deserved to win that Royal Rumble. The story between him and Triple H going into Mania 21, that was such a great story. And I will always say Batista was the correct choice for that reason, man. Cena wasn't like, I get the idea of a dream match, but Cena was still kind of building up steam a little bit. That doesn't become a dream match out the gate for that year. And obviously him and Hunter got to have themselves a feud and match later on in their wrestling careers.
Well, you might not call it idiotic, Shard, but again, I'm going to. And the reason for that, right, is Batista versus Triple H, to your point, was the story which they were telling. That was the story to tell. That was a WrestleMania main event at that time.
One of my favorite stories of all time, by the way.
Exactly. But the entire point of this question, too, it's saying that it would have made, what was it? It would have taken John Cena's career to legendary status in the WWE. It's not like John Cena was flipping in a battle royale or not on the card. He was in the co-main event where he won the WWE Championship against JBL in a match which made him a main event talent. This take, nothing would have been different apart from that WrestleMania would have sold a lot less pay-per-views because Batista versus Triple H was the bigger match. For his career, this did nothing. This wouldn't have helped him in the slightest because he won the WWE title, the main title, anyway, at that show.
I feel like John Bradshaw Layfield gets a sense of like, I don't know. I think he does his. I think he did his role and job so well to make people to hate him so much. That standpoint, like I feel he's got the character work that helped put over a lot of big time baby faces because you wanted to see him absolutely lose to him. And JBL was dope, man. He was such a good heel. He got under people's skin. Like,
next question is from Charlie Evans 355, who says that John Cena should have had the undisputed championship until the end of the year. Now, this was something which I was saying at the time, where if they were going to tell the story which they were telling with the dates ticking down with Cena with the title, then it should have gone to the end. But on the flip side of that, you kind of want to end it the way they have ended it now with him as a babyface. So it's a difficult question, but Angie, I'd love to get your thoughts.
I still have the theory of he could have that heel moment one more time. Okay, hear me out on this.
Really?
Hear me out on this. Wait. Hear me out. Because like we were talking about earlier, like it just kind of went away, right? Imagine all of this was just for show. All of it was just for show. And then we get to the match. We get to that final match. And the final match ends in DQ because Cena causes a low blow. And then he takes the mic and says, looking straight down the camera, I told you I would ruin wrestling for you. And then walks away. Never to be seen again. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the absolute horror on people's faces? Go through this entire tournament, going through all of this, just for him to do that. I know it sounds far-fetched, but could you imagine that that's the way they decide to end his career?
There was
with a low blow, and then that's it. That's the match.
There was a clip on Unreal where Triple H said, Triple H said to John Cena that he hopes he does his career justice with this. And John Cena says, it would have to be pretty, bad to mess up 25 years. That might just do it. This is from BVND Ick, who says Cena is not the GOAT. Tell me a time when he had the crowd eating out of his hand like prime Stone Cold and prime Flair. He was booed 90% of his career until people started cheering the last few years. Shard, I saw the look on your face then. What do you think?
He's right. He's not the GOAT. He ain't the greatest of all time. John Cena, look, he ain't the greatest of all time. Maybe by virtue of like popularity and all that. He's the greatest notable person in WWE standards of all time. But they're not wrong. Y'all read the quote right there. The quote is right below me, right there. Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time. In-ring ability, showmanship, the swagger, the character work, storytelling. Michaels is the greatest of all time. He can't rock. He can't. Nah, man. We not having that. And he's not better than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin is better than him by virtue in all aspects as well. The only thing that didn't work for Austin is, unfortunately, his career got cut short due to injury. But I would take those two over John Cena 9 times out of 10. I would take a lot of other people over him too. And y'all not ready to have that conversation as well. Like he's just not my GOAT.
He says, tell me a time when he had the crowd eaten out of his hand, like Prime Stone Cold and Prime Flair, right? John Cena had the crowd eating out of his hand more than Stone Cold did throughout his career. Stone Cold had the crowd for what, 4 or 5 years eating out of his hand? The crowd for what, 4 or 5 years eating out of his hand? John Cena's segments, whether you hate him or you don't or you love him, whatever, he's had the crowd the loudest of
Stone
the
Cold
night,
Steve
week
Austin
in, week
literally
out for
changed the dynamic of professional
15
wrestling
years.
for
He
WWE, bro. He
did.
got
He did for
WWE
5
back
years.
on the
Cena's
map.
done it for 20.
Cena has Austin is the person that brought the pendulum back into WWE's ballpark and helped eliminate the competition,
Yes,
bro.
but
What are
that's
you
not what
talking
the
about?
question says.
Cena has
The
had the
question says, tell me a
easiest
time.
route. Who has Cena had to compete with in the aspect of pro wrestling, bro? Like the WWE has been the only key figurehead for the entirety of his career. He's not had to compete with nothing.
But you can make the argument that's harder. Because we've seen business is better for WWE when they do have competition. And he had a time where, let's face it, the industry was in a bit of a
is
quiet
hotter right
period.
now.
He made it hot.
John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, they're not comparable. They stand on their own pedestals for a reason. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact, can you really compare them? Even if the conversation was just who's the greatest of all time, Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold, you can't compare them because they're their own flavor of being the GOAT. There's always something about them that makes them stick out as the reason why they're on top of the pedestal.
You are right, but you are also right about the GOAT question, right? Because Donnie said it right at the start of this segment, but it is true. What's the criteria for the GOAT? In a work spot, it's the ultimate subjective question. And that is the thing, right? And Chad, I can see the argument easily for Shawn Michaels. That's an easy argument you can make, and is probably what I'd say as well. But there's so many different ways you can argue it. And there is certainly an argument for John Cena. That is ultimately what I'll say to this, to answer this question.
He's in the top 10 of all time for sure.
On that note, guys, it does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you to Angie, thank you to Sharon, thank you to all of you for watching at home. We will be back the same time, same place tomorrow, so make sure to come and watch when we discuss whatever happens on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Peace.